Hi friends, Zoe here. So, bit of a different video today. This week on Monday, June 6th, was my 3-year anniversary of moving to Toronto. So today I just kind of thought that I would turn on the camera and see where it goes and just reflect on the past 3 years here. So I'm going to touch on a little bit about moving here and how I went about it, and if you guys don't know me or you're not familiar, if you haven't watched a lot of my videos, or if this is your first video, then welcome. I hope that you like the channel. But so I grew up in British Columbia on Vancouver Island, and growing up, I loved growing up there. It's a very beautiful place, but I always felt like I didn't fit. It's like really hard to describe, but the only way that I can kind of put it into thoughts or like words is it's like wearing a suit or something, wearing something uncomfortable that doesn't fit you properly, and you just try to shake it, but you just have a really hard time feeling comfortable. And I think this had to do with my surroundings. Like, although I loved it and it was beautiful, I just felt like, there's something more, there's something different. I feel like I would be more of my truer self in a different environment. And I guess that's the best way to put it. So I went to university in BC at Vancouver Island University, and I did my 5-year degree in 4 years. I took summer school and I hustled it. I wanted to just kind of get it done, but I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do afterwards. I was kind of on a straight line track to become a teacher, and that's what my family and all my friends kind of thought that I was going to do. But in my final year of university, after I got back from Europe, after I got back from Europe, I remember telling my parents, I was like, I think I might have told you guys this before in like my Wandering Around Little Italy video, but I told my parents that I want to move to Italy. I said, I'm moving to Europe, like after I graduate, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make it happen. And I remember my dad said to me, my dad's such a realist, like I love him and he's so supportive of me, but he said, with what money, Zoe? With what money are you gonna move to Europe? And I was like, all right, like graduating university, I'm gonna have student debt and I don't even know what I'm gonna do for work, so I guess it's not really the right time for me to move to Italy. So I started doing my research, and for me, Vancouver was a little too close to move. It wasn't far enough away. It was still in the rain most of the year, which I'm not really a fan of. And I kind of started looking into other cities in Canada, and I did apply for teaching programs out in Ontario too, and I ended up getting into a couple, I think York and Brock, but I had discovered this program at George Brown called Sport and Event Marketing, and it was a postgraduate program, and it seemed like super interesting to me. It offered an internship, and it seemed fun and just like good vibes. So I applied to that in secret. I didn't tell my family that I was applying to it. I didn't tell anybody that I was applying to it. And I got in. And I got in the morning. I was actually on the ferry boat, and I was on my way to Cuba to study abroad. And yeah, I remember calling my dad and telling him, Dad, I got into George Brown. And he's like, oh, awesome. And I was like, but not for teaching. And he was like, what do you mean not for teaching? And so I told him that I applied to the Sport and Event Marketing program, and I was super excited and enthusiastic about it, but I think he was kind of a bit nervous because it was this plan that I didn't express to anybody that I was applying to. And I got in, so I made my decision, I accepted it, and regardless of what anyone said or thought, I knew that I was going to be on that plane across the country with no idea what was going to happen at the other end. And I'm so glad and so grateful that I did that for myself, because like I told you, I had amazing friends in BC and friends that I'll have for the rest of my life, and I loved my time there, but I struggled inside with this feeling that I wasn't supposed to be there. And I just encourage all of you out there, if you ever have this feeling like you wonder if there's something better, or you feel like maybe you don't necessarily fit, I just hope that you're so unapologetically courageous to just do what you want to do, to just go out there and go get what you want, go explore, go adventure, because you only have one life. And if you are consistently wondering, what if I didn't take that chance, what if I didn't move, and it's hard, because I know that you go day by day, and then, a week's gone by, 6 months have gone by, a couple years have gone by, and you might still have these ideas in your head. You might still wonder if there's something better. You might still wonder if there's something more out there. And the truth is, there is. And I can't express to you how grateful I am that I decided to just take this leap. And obviously I was super nervous about doing it. I didn't really know anybody on the other side. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have a lot of money when I moved here, but I made it happen. And somehow, because I was so positive and brave, and I just knew that I had to take this chance for my life. I knew that my happiness and my well-being depended on it, and I knew the risk, it was worth it, because where I was going in Nanaimo, I wasn't fulfilled. And yeah, it's hard to put the feeling into words, but I just felt like there was something more for me. I felt like there was more that needed to be explored, and I didn't have the opportunity to be my truest self in the environment that I was in. So yeah, I hopped off that plane, 3 years ago, and for the past 3 years of my life, I have been through so much. And the Zoe that hopped off the plane 3 years ago is so much different than the Zoe now. But same but different. I'm still the same person, inside. I'm still, positive and into the same things, but I just feel like I've gone through so many different scenarios, so many different lessons, and I feel like I'm, it's just been the universe kind of chiseling away at me and making me into my greatest self. But yeah, it definitely has not been easy here, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I don't regret anything, because it's put me into this situation now, and I feel like I am every day becoming more and more my truest self. And when I first got here, I was so positive and so excited about being in the city, and I just felt so inspired by everything. But I was also faced with challenges, and I have for the past 3 years. I have never felt more disrespected by people. I have never felt more alone. I have never felt more scared. I have never felt more stressed out. I have never felt more lonely. There's so many different emotions that I have felt so intensely being here on my own. And I remember, after I started this YouTube channel, I think it was probably about six and a half months ago, I remember being at my lowest point. I remember lying on my bedroom floor, and I was sobbing, because all of these bad things had happened to me in the past year, and it was just one after another, and I would try to be positive. I would, I'd write in my journal every day still, and I would listen to all these books, and I just kept trying to be the best version of myself. But I had all of these things happening that just felt so out of my control. I remember feeling literally just feeling when I'd finally felt like I was in a good place again, that somebody was just ripping the carpet from underneath my feet, and then I was falling down again, and I was so alone. I feel sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional, but I remember just feeling alone, and I remember sobbing on the bedroom floor after something unfortunate had happened. And it wasn't the worst thing that's ever happened in my life by any means, but it was just a series of events. It was, like I said, one after another. And I had kept trying to be positive and be my best self, but all of these things were out of my control. And I was lying there on the bedroom floor, and I couldn't get up. I couldn't get up because I couldn't picture the next day. I couldn't picture anything getting better, because I felt like it was just worse and worse and worse. And I remember I was on the phone sobbing to my stepmom, who's basically like my real mom. It doesn't feel right to call her my stepmom. So I was on the phone with her, and I was expressing how alone I felt, and I kept asking her why. How come all of these bad things are happening to me? How come the universe is doing this to me? Why am I consistently faced with these scenarios after I'm trying to be a better person? And she explained to me that, like, you have to look at the bigger picture, and the universe is always trying to work in your greatest good. So although I was feeling extremely alone, I just felt like I maybe wasn't surrounding myself with the best people, and I didn't really have, those true friendships that I thought that I had, or that I have had in Nanaimo, or like in BC altogether. But she tried to bring me back to thinking about how in my life all of the challenges lead you to your better self. And I know that everything happens for a reason, and there's a lesson to be learned out of everything. But like in this moment, in this very low moment, I couldn't see the next day. And then I finally just remember her saying, just put yourself to bed, so like it's late, and say your mantra that everything is working out in my highest and greater good. And I just decided in that moment to just kind of surrender to it. I just remember I knew that in my life I had always been faced with challenges, but it always brought something a little bit better for me. It always got better. And so I put myself to bed, and I remember the next morning I woke up and I was calm. I was relaxed, and I had accepted how I was feeling, and I decided that there's nobody else out there besides me. I am alone. I am alone here in Toronto, but also, alone in this life. I am the only person who is responsible for my own happiness, and I could sit there and I could cry on the bedroom floor more and feel sorry for myself, but I knew that I can't do that anymore. I have to go out there and I have to take advantage of my life. I have to get myself what I want, and nobody else is going to do it for me. I can't lean on anybody else. I have to do this myself. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is that it hasn't always been easy, but as I spoke to my friend Christine, she made a big move herself, and she now lives in Africa, and she's living an amazing life. But she expressed to me, it's like this 90-10 rule, where if you're going to go out into the world and pursue an endeavor and have no idea what's going to happen to you on the other side, and if you're truly doing something alone, but you're doing it for yourself, and we talked about this feeling of just feeling that there's something more out there's something better that needs to be pursued for you. So she's explained to me, when you are going to basically throw yourself out into the universe, you will get caught. Somebody will catch you, the universe will catch you, and it will bring you up to your greatest good. And she expressed to me this 90-10 rule, which means 90% of the time she is on cloud nine, loving life, having the most adventure possible, and just living an exciting, thrilling, adventurous life. But then there's 10% of it that is the absolute worst that you could ever feel. And that's how I can describe Toronto, is for the most part, my days are wonderful. I am continually inspired by this city. I love just walking around by myself. I feel like the city has really given me a playground, It's my own playground. I kind of think of life as the world is a playground and life is like a video game, and you can really do whatever you want to do as long as you have the courage to pursue it. But then you are faced with these difficult times because you are alone and you are by yourself, and you are trying to be the most independent, greatest version of yourself. But the universe will challenge you, and the universe challenges you because as you guys know, when you've gone through hard times, it always gets better, and it's like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that is so true, because the things I've been through in the past, especially more the year and a half, have been just so like insane highs, insane lows, and it's hard to make sense of it when you're going through it or when you're going through something bad, but it will always lead to something better. And I think it's just important to just always know that. And like I said, when I was at my lowest point I can ever imagine in my life, like when I think back in my life, like I remember lying on the bedroom floor and I couldn't get up. I was on the phone and I couldn't get up because I was just so consumed with needing a why. Why was this happening to me? And I knew deep down inside that everything always leads to something better. When you go through these hard times, you become stronger. It's like emotional fitness. It's like the universe tests you because it wants you to be a little bit stronger for what it's going to throw at you next. And yeah, I guess I want you guys to know that if you are ever at a very low point in your life and you're asking that question, why, and you're just so absorbed in that moment and you don't understand, just know, please just know that better days are coming, and you know there is a tomorrow, and amazing things are going to happen to you. And amazing things have happened to me since, you know, that 6 months, and I'm so happy that I stayed consistent with YouTube and that I've met so many amazing people, and all of you guys watching are just, you, whether or not you take the time to comment or like my videos, like it's given me the platform to connect with you. So I guess I just wanted to make this video I reflect on my past 3 years, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get like emotional on you or anything, but I was just thinking about those moments when they were very hard. What I'm saying is, if you have the courage to pursue your dreams or whatever it is that's pulling you towards something, like sometimes you don't even know, like I didn't even know why I was so drawn to just up and leaving BC, but I did it, and I'm so grateful for all of the amazing things that have happened for me. And I feel like coming out here with such a positive mentality and positive vibes that I've attracted some amazing things into my life. And although bad things have happened, like I mentioned, every day I'm getting stronger, and every day I can look back on these things and realize in hindsight that there's always something to be learned through situations and people. And I'm so happy that I didn't stay in BC wondering what if. I feel like wondering is such a, I don't know, for me, like I don't know if wondering is the right word for it, but it's such a negative kind of emotion, because you're debating in your mind and you're not really following your intuition. If your intuition wants something, if something so deep inside of you wants something, I mean, you're drawn for a reason. If you are drawn to a certain place, then you need to pursue it, because there's a reason why you are so drawn somewhere. Like I had never been to Toronto before I moved here. I just, applied to this program, got accepted, and was like, perfect, that's my next adventure, because I can't move to Rome or Italy. That can't happen right now. So like, if you just trust yourself and trust your intuition, and just to know that if you're going to throw yourself out into the universe, like I explained, so many amazing things will happen for you. And I mean, I'm working on myself every day. I'm working on constructing my next chapter and trying to visualize what that's going to look like, and what I truly want out of this life, and what my passions are. I mean, you probably question all the time, what ifs, or what am I doing with my life? I think about that all the time, like what am I doing? But as long as you just kind of follow your heart and you're brave about it, and you just truly realize that you are the only person who can make things happen for you. Nobody's gonna give you a free plane ticket and a visa and say, all right, go travel the world and have fun. You have to make things happen for yourself. And no matter what, if you take a leap of faith, somebody, the universe, will catch you and will bring you up higher than you ever were. I have finally had the opportunity in Toronto to be my truest self, and it's been amazing. It's been life-changing. And I just really hope that you guys, if you have what ifs in your mind, if you wonder, if you contemplate making a big move or, taking a trip, I just hope that you decide to do it for yourself because you truly deserve it. And I guess I'll stop rambling, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks for letting me be vulnerable with you at times. Just thank you for giving me a platform to express myself and to have your love and support. I appreciate it more than you know, and I am so happy that I've made these connections and friendships with people. And yeah, I hope that you guys have an amazing day. And if you have any questions about moving to anywhere, or like Toronto more specifically, I probably know more about, but if you have any questions about how I kind of made this move, then feel free to ask. And yeah, let me know if you've made a big move in your life and how, if you can relate to, the 90-10 situation. I love hearing from you guys, so thank you. Bye.